Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Welcome to HAFEZ TV. I'm your host, HAFEZ, and we are going to kick some ice buttocks. No, we're not going to kick anything. We're going to introduce you, boys and girls, to the Alligator Alcatraz. Big up Roy in the chat. First one in the chat. Love it. Fucking sick of it. Roy is sick of beer. Are you sick of beer? Anyway, thank you, Roy. Thank you for being in the chit chat with us. So, what are we doing? I lost track immediately. Roy just put me off like immediately. We're going to get straight into this, boys and girls, because we don't have much time. And I just want to get this show on the road and up and Adams. Where are we? There we are. Let us share it. Tab, entire screen. Turn it on. Audio. Interesting. To share audio, share a tab or screen instead. Oh, I see. That only does the thing and the thing. Okay, we're just going to share the screen. Sort it. That's right, boys and girls. We have our beautiful lady that is presenting the thing that she presents. Yeah, that's good enough, I guess. This is the spokesperson for Trump, the lady spokesperson for the Florida Alcatraz, and let us see what she says. Also, I need to do a quick sound test to make sure that it's coming through. So let me get that ready. Well, okay, let's get it all ready. Ooh, that didn't go well. What the hell happened just there? Go back. No, go back. For the Alcatraz. And shut up. Okay, I'm gonna play it, and then I'll also do a sound check. So I'm just gonna mute up for a second, boys. You guys just get comfortable. Hello, Cut. Oh, big up, Cuts. Love Cuts. Cuts. I want you to jump on the show if you can, and we'll have some chats. Zane Boo. Lil. I'm not entirely sure, Roy. Roy, you're cryptic today. Speak English to me. You're speaking in cryptic words. What is this? Hello, streaming mate. I am Zainabu, a streamer who streams on Kick, but just got verified and starts earning from my channel. Oh dear God, I think this is this is a Kick. This is actually a Kick message. It's one of those advertising BS. Hello, Lieutenant. How are you, my love? Okay, what is Lieutenant saying? Lieutenant saying, hiya, Banksy. I'm in One Gen Media for about half an hour or so. I'll come over when you're done. When we're done, I'm on the panel. Oh, lovely. One Gen Media. I don't know who they are, but I will check them out. And by the way, everyone in here, do not go to One Gen Media until I'm finished, and then go to One Gen Media immediately. I'm not sure who they are. I haven't actually looked at One Gen Media. Boys and ladies, hello, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Boys and ladies, yes indeed. Why is it boys and ladies? Why not gentlemen, ladies? Anyway, I'm not complaining. Cuts. Dumb. I would damn, I think damn, sorry, damn. I would, but I have to start work. Oh no. We'll do it again soon, Cuts. You do you, boo. And I'll definitely talk to you. I'll join your stream soon when I can. Good man, thank you. All right, let's get on it. We've been chatting to the chats too much. Let's do this thing.
Tomorrow, President Trump will travel to the great state of Florida to attend the opening of a new illegal alien detention center located at Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport. The facility is in the heart of the Everglades and will be informally known as Alligator Alcatraz. There is only one road leading in, and the only way out is a one-way flight. It is isolated and surrounded by dangerous wildlife and unforgiving terrain. The facility will have up to 5,000 beds to house, process, and deport criminal illegal aliens.
That's right. That's right. They're calling it the Alligator. I can't do Trump, so I'm just going to do my own. Yeah, that's right. That's right. They're calling it the Alligator Alcatraz. The greatest Alcatraz ever. Far better than the original, because there's alligators. That's right. Alligators and boa constrictors that are 30-odd foot long. There's a Burmese boas who are not actually native to the local area. They were released because rich Floridians had bought them and then just like released them because they didn't want to kill them. And now they've started to mate and propagate. And now they're essentially an evasive species because they're actually eating the alligators. And another little note, which I'll point out. This is, by the way, I learned all this from other YouTubers, but apparently Florida has also salt water as well as fresh water in the region, which means they not only have alligators in the fresh water, they have saltwater crocodiles. That's right, saltwater crocodiles. A crocodile-filled moat around the prison. What more do you need?
This is an efficient and low-cost way to help carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history. Tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. And now we are gonna cut to a tour of the Alligator Alcatraz. Some people are calling it a concentration camp, but the only thing concentrated is the alligators. So no, it is not. And also, it's the only concentration camp in the world that has air conditioning. I don't know about you, but I don't think Saddam Hussein ever put air conditioning in Abu Ghraib or Auschwitz. I don't think they had air conditioning in Auschwitz. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that.
Their concerns.
These guys set up this whole thing within a matter of days.
It took less than a month for the state to get Alligator Alcatraz ready to open on Tuesday.
More than 3,000 illegals can be processed through here.
Governor DeSantis says the detention facility is critical to handle the 50,000 plus immigrants who have final deportation orders. Before this, there were only 3 centers in Florida with a total of 2,000 beds.
What it can be, I think, is an effective way to increase the number of removals and deportations.
The detention center will eventually feature facilities to house 5,000 detainees and hundreds of workers with drinking water, food, and sewer service trucks brought in. It's located at the Dade Collier Airport in the Everglades, which is mostly used for
There you go. That's where they built it, right there on that footprint in that concreted area, but they've got plenty more land that they can also build extensions to. It's just they have to concrete, I guess, the rest. So they just built it on the existing concrete area. But it's definitely capable of being expanded, and it can hold up to about 5,000 people with air conditioning, with hospital care, as well as, obviously bed and breakfast and lunch and dinner provided. So the way these lefties are losing it, they are losing their shit, like on epic levels. They're losing their shit. I'm not even joking. The left, I mean, Hassan Piker and Ocasio-Cortez types have literally lost their shit. There is no more shit for them to lose. They have empty bowels. That's how much shit they've lost.
Training and only accessible by one road or an airstrip.
They ain't going anywhere once they're there unless you want them to go somewhere, because good luck getting to civilization.
But even as President Trump prepares to visit Alligator Alcatraz, some say there are a lot of unanswered questions. That includes former Republican State Senator Jeff Brandes, who now runs the Florida Policy Project.
If we're going to be taking entire families and putting them in these facilities, then it seems like it's more of a long-term internment camp than it is even a prison or a detention facility.
Brandes also wonders who will staff the detention center.
There is literally an airplane landing strip and takeoff. So they've literally they can bring the planes right next to the center, load them up, and ship them out. You can't get a better facility than this. They literally hold them until the next bus arrives, and then ding, 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 all aboard. Off to Venezuela you go, or El Salvador, wherever the hell it is in South America. Oh my God. Imagine if we could have one in Britain. Now, we don't have alligators. To be honest with you, we don't even have like deadly sharks in the seas. Like the best Britain has is like the basking shark, for crying out loud. We barely even get visits from the great white in the shores of Britain. And yet we can't even do this. We literally are on an island, and we can't do what these guys are doing in this massive country of the United States. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I can't do Trump. I can't do a Trump. I'm sorry. I just can't. I don't have that New Yorkie thing going on. I do listen to a bunch of YouTubers though who do quite good Trumps. No runways. Yeah, they have a runway. No, we have runways. Oh, you talking about this place? This place literally has its own runway, and it's got a detention center now built on it. So they just like bring them in, process them, stick them on a plane, fly out. And these planes could like literally come in like loops. They could just be looping as long as they can be refueled, packed with people, next one out. Just 200-300 at a time. Just boom, boom, boom. 14,000. Oh, thank you. 14,000 watching. Yep. No runways. Just need duct tape. Yes, they just need some duct tapes. That's all we need. Some duct tapes and the greatest detention center ever made. It's so fabulous.
That's a concern shared by Joe Rojas, a retired corrections officer with 30 years of experience.
We are radically understaffed at many of our facilities across the state. So are we moving correction officers from already understaffed facilities to staff this facility? Is the National Guard going to be called up to staff this facility?
Who lives close to Alligator Alley, number one? So you have to travel to get there, probably, miles and miles. And then number two, I hate to say it, but it's going to be about the pay.
Rojas says there are also safety concerns for the guards and detainees.
How you train dealing with detainees is different, because they're technically not convicted individuals.
But the governor believes this is what it all comes down to.
This is potentially be a force multiplier.
Yeah, and a big selling point for the governor here is that this is...
Forget this guy. Let's go to the next one. Okay, Barbara Streisand says Donald Trump is making her fat. I don't even know where to begin with that. This is a piece called "Lefties Losing It" from Australia, Sky News Australia, because they're based as fuck. And did I say F? I'm trying not to swear. Trying to keep it family friendly. But Barbara Streisand is saying Donald Trump is making her fat. That's where we are now, people. That's where we are.
Babs, who's overeating because of Donald Trump. Here is Rosie O'Donnell talking about how Trump's triumph saw her piling on the weight and hitting the bottle.
During his first go-round, it was very difficult, and I got myself into some bad places. I was very, very depressed. I was overeating.
Yes, it's Donald Trump's presidential election that's making you look like this, Rosie. You're right. You would have been a supermodel if Trump never got elected in 2018, right, Rosie? Because that's what you were. You were just about to sign a deal with Vogue. Because Donald Trump is what's making Rosie O'Donnell look like this. Imagine if Donald Trump had never been elected in 2016. Rosie O'Donnell will be competing with Michelle Pfeiffer and Charlize Theron. God damn it, these people.
Over drinking. I was so depressed, Chris. I can't, it hurt my heart that America believed the lies about him, and then it broke my heart to...
Is Chris Cuomo look like? Is it Chris Cuomo? Yeah, I think it's Chris Cuomo, isn't it? It's his brother who's going for mayor. Does he look like he's about to cry? He looks like he's about to cry. Are you gonna cry, Chris? Let me. Can I zoom? I can't zoom in on this damn thing. It doesn't let me zoom. I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. The system won't allow it. Computer says no.
Be in a business that creates and sells those lies for profit. You know, it was very heavy, to tell you the truth.
She wants you to think she's better now because she's fled to Ireland. But here she is just a few weeks ago with her delusional dreams about getting rid of Donald Trump. She thought it could happen perhaps even by June 14.
So upsetting everywhere you turn. It's really hard to believe that this man is the president of the United States. Yet he is, you know, and I'm just hoping that we can get him out as soon as possible, hopefully before June 14th. Now, I don't know that that's possible, but that's when he wants to have this massive $90 million military parade for himself.
The parade was for the military, Rosie, celebrating 250 years of service, and it was magnificent, you miserable fantasists. Now, here are more crazy folk who claim cutting NPR's funding, cutting PBS's funding, will end lives. What? And why do they always look like this? Now, the next scenes you're about to witness are not from New York or California or some other depraved blue state. This footage is from Pride events in the great state of Texas. And these events are apparent.
Okay, guys, I thought that she's going to be talking about, Trump's visit to Florida, but she's not talking about Trump's visit to Florida. So I'm going to have to find someone else that's covered the magnificent trip that Trump made to Florida. Hold on. Let's check this one out. Is this the right one? Do we have it?
Greatest tax cut in the history of our country, and if it doesn't pass, it's the biggest tax increase in the history of our country. That alone, 68% increase, as opposed to a massive cut. It's the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, and everybody gets it.
Mr. President and Madam Secretary, CNN yesterday pushed an app that lets you track where ICE agents are. Tom Homan was saying that perhaps CNN should be prosecuted for that. That's obstruction of law enforcement. Your response?
Yeah, we're working with the Department of Justice to see if we can prosecute them for that, because what they're doing is actively encouraging people to avoid law enforcement activities, operations, and we're going to actually go after them and prosecute them with a partnership with FAM if we can, because what they're doing we believe is illegal.
And they may be prosecuted also for having given false reports on the attack in Iran. They were given totally false reports. It was totally obliterated, and our people have to be celebrated, not come home and say, what do you mean we didn't hit the target? We hit the target perfectly. You know, the pilots came home and they said we hit the target perfectly. So they may be very well prosecuted for that. What they did there we think is totally illegal. Okay, let's go. Follow us.
Okay. We're going. Let's follow them.
24 hours.
It sounds a bit off. Here we go. Florida Emergency Management Division. Florida Divisions of Emergency Management. Those are some of the men and women. Greatest men and women in the world. Keeping us safe. And these are some of the beds. Great beds, comfortable beds. No peas under those mattresses. No, it was all nice and flat. Amazing beds. Bunk beds. I love bunk beds. When I was a kid, I used to sleep on a bunk bed. Not that I needed to, because I had my own room, but it was just for fun. When I went on sleepovers with my millionaire friends. That's what happened. We used to sleep on those bunk beds and then have our maids massage our penises at night. Great times. Great times. Good memories. I'm sorry, there isn't really much going on here. There's no sound. Sound sucks. What kind of actual broadcast is this? Sound absolutely sucks ass. Good times. Good times on those bunk beds. Never had to actually sleep in one though. I had a bedroom the size of a small palace.
And if they did it, it would cost him 100 times more. So I would say he should call.
He's wearing a hat that says Gulf of America. He's wearing a hat that says Gulf of America. He better not want to change the Persian Gulf. That's all I have to say. If he doesn't come for the Persian Gulf, we're good. But if he comes for the Persian Gulf and tries to make that into that disgusting Arab Gulf, the Gulf of Arabia, we're going to have words. We're going to have to go for war number 2 with Iran if he changes the name of that Gulf to the Arabian Gulf, because it's always been Persian. It's always going to be the Gulf of Persia.
The governor, Christie, and I'm sure you'd give him, because his state is a disaster, and he doesn't do this.
Well, they have the original Alcatraz, so you guys could approve him being able to set one of these up over there. I'm sure the secretary would be happy to do that and provide some. My sense is he's probably not going to bite on that, but I don't know that they'd be able to come in at cost, because they tried to do this high-speed rail. They spent like $150 billion, no tracks. We've got a privately funded rail in Florida from Miami to Orlando, cost the taxpayer $0, and it's very successful. So just a much different approach between states.
Hey, Mr. President.
I'm glad that DeSantis and Trump have actually mended some bridges, maybe even built some walls or a crocodile, an alligator Alcatraz, but they've mended the bridges and they're all kind of friends again, because they all know it's all politics. Politics is a dirty, dirty game. It's a dirty game, and we're all friends now, and we're just gonna have a beautiful, beautiful detention center. Let's see what this one says. Why is the sound on all of these suck so hard? Let me see if I can hear it from the other one. Nope.
That is exciting about this is we're offering up our National Guard and other folks in Florida to be deputized to be immigration judges.
The sound sucks.
Department of Justice for the approvals. I'm sure
The sound just sucks hard.
I'll have a National Guard judge advocate here. Someone has a notice to appear. Biden would tell him to come back in 3 years and appear.
I've got some idiot outside playing music out of his car. That's just fucking awesome.
The president's got to deal with the bureaucracy. Now that Supreme Court ruling was good, because that's going to allow him to be able to exercise Article 2 the way founders intended, but you still have bureaucracy, so we want to cut through that so that we have an efficient operation between Florida and DHS to get the removal of these illegals done.
And are you still prioritizing going after the worst of the worst, or are you now arresting anyone who is...
Yeah, I'm sorry. The sound on this thing just sucks ass. My God. Where did they get this broadcast from? This is Forbes. This is Forbes. How is it Forbes sound suck so much ass? Barely hear it.
The first person checking in this beautiful Alcatraz.
Let's go back to this.
To make sure there's nothing.
It didn't work out that way, but you wanted me in here.
Mr. President, what's your expectation what this will do for the speed and force of deportations?
A lot of things, and they're both telling me that these people come in here, they want to go home. And they want to go home, so we immediately send them home. Where it's appropriate. Now, if somebody's a real killer, we don't send them here.
The people want to go home.
Look,
that's what we're giving them. They want to go home, and we're just sending them home. That's all we're doing. We're giving the people what they want. They voted me. Unprecedented landslide win. Won all seven swing states, and the people want to go home. Who are we to keep them against their will When the people want to go home, we send them home. That's how it is. Big up Cheeky, big up CCD, big up Based. So that's how it is. We got the Alligator Alcatraz, and we're sending the people home. Now, this was live now, and they're showing some of the cuckolds, some of the lefties outside someplace, somewhere. I don't know, it could be outside of this facility. Let's mute that because they're not saying anything, and the sound sucks. But there they are, out there somewhere, trying to pretend that they're protesting. Defend the sacred. What? Defend the sacred. I don't even know what that is. There's some lame ass woke shit. It's some woke nonsense. And let's see.
See what I mean? It's an amazing job.
The sound sucks. Sucks
The
balls.
governor and Christie and
Funded rail in Florida from Miami to
an open border policy where 25 million people flowed in from all over the world, from prisons, from all over the world they flowed in for no reason whatsoever. We had, when I left, we had a very powerful border. We had no problem. He opened it up day one. He just opened the border, and people couldn't believe it. That's right. They were standing there. What are they doing? They said, "Go in." That's it. You look at the first day tapes.
They couldn't
They
believe
opened
it.
it up and they said, "Go in," and that's
Just
where all of this
go in.
began. But this is an amazing thing that they've done here.
But listen, people don't have to come here. If they self-deport and go home, they can come back legally. We will let them come back legally.
And there is a lot of self-deportation.
Yes. But if you
People
wait
wouldn't
and
believe
we bring you to this facility, you don't ever get to come back to America. You don't get the chance to come back and be an American again and work here. So
they weren't with us when the President and Secretary Kevin and we went through the intake. So right when you do the intake, they have the information about voluntary departure. They have the ability. Obviously, you guys are funding that because it's a lot cheaper to do it.
That's right. You can self-deport. That's the message. That's the message we should give to the Brits for the illegals that come on the small boats. If you self-deport now, you'll be given a chance to come back in legally. If we have to evict you, you'll never come back legally ever again. But that's okay because 90% of applications in British asylum are accepted. That's right. Was it 90 or 80% are accepted? So you don't need to self-deport because we're pretty much going to let you live here anyway. And yes, we're going to let you siphon off the tax money on in a 4-star hotel whilst you're still doing deliveries because that's what we do in Britain. We're not cruel. We're just fair. That's what it is. It's just fair to you as the illegal migrant, but we're gonna kick the British taxpayer in the ass. That's right. Actually, I should be doing a Keir Starmer on this one. Oh, I can't do a Keir Starmer. I don't know. My father was a toolmaker, and I speak with a somewhat wet, limp-wristed manner, and I can't do it. I can't do a Starmer, so I'm just going to do this. That's all I have. I have this squeaky fucking... Because that's how I hear him. That's how he sounds in my head. It's not that he's actually like that, but he sounds like this pathetic, weakling sack shit of a man. So he sounds like that to me. Oh, my father was a toolmaker. Let me see. Let me show you what I mean. This is what I see when I see Keir Starmer. This is what I hear when I see this man. This is what if I were to do a voiceover of this pathetic sack of Todd, this would be it. Hold on. Let me get it right. Oh, is this what you do? Is this how you hit it? Am I hitting it right? Am I hitting it? Oh, look, vote Labour. Look, I have gloves. I have boxing gloves, Daddy. My father was a toolmaker. You're a tool. I know your father was a toolmaker, but you are a tool, sir. Look at this. Look at this. Imagine if this was medieval era and you had to go to war with this man. You had to sit on a horse next to him and draw your sword in order to ride into your inevitable, quick and painful death. And this was your leader. This was what you had to ride into battle with. I mean, you know, you imagine like King Henry V, King Arthur, the mythical Arthur of the Camelot, or any of these other great kings of European descent. You know, hell, even Vlad the Impaler ought to take over this dipshit. Imagine you had to ride with those great men into battle and you were awe-inspired. William Wallace, Robert the Bruce. These are just some heroic characters that come to my head right now because I'm not a history buff. But you know, the great kings that you would ride into battle with. And then you have this. You have, my father was a toolmate. I made many changes. We will have a grooming gangs inquiry. Honest, we will. We'll have that. Holy shit. Holy shit. No wonder if they're talking about conscription or sending British soldiers to go and fight in Ukraine, that everybody's like, fuck no. Shit no. I ain't. Hell no. You can go kiss my ass if you think I'm going to go to war for this dipshit. Not in a million years. Not in a million years. You can literally leave a mountain of gold outside my door and I would not pick up a rifle to defend this asswipe. Hell, they're at risk of, if they give rifles to young men, they'll turn those rifles around on these people. That's probably why they're in the same. I think the British government is in the same position as the Iranian regime. If they give the citizens weapons, the weapons will be used on them, not on the enemy. Holy shit. Holy shit. We have this dipshit, and then America has him. I mean, sometimes life is just not fair, people. Sometimes life is just not fair. We're going to have to migrate to the United States. I know they don't want refugees, but I think they'll take English ones. We are all refugees from England. Please give us a safe haven because we can't take it anymore. We can't pay any more taxes, and we can't have we don't want to have migrants in our 5-star hotels living it up whilst we work our asses off to pay for them. We can't afford to buy a car, but they can live on Uber Eats and live in a 4-star hotel.
Inherited from this guy, this incompetent man, and his administration, which wasn't incompetent, it was radical left, lunatic, communist, whatever you want to say. I know most of them. What we inherited should never, ever be forgotten. What they've made us do. This is all because of an open border policy where 25 million people flowed in. From all over the world, from prisons, from all over the world they flowed in. For no reason whatsoever. We had, when I left, we had a very powerful border. We had no problem. He opened it up. Day one, he just opened the border. People couldn't believe it. They were standing there. What did they do? They said, go in. That's it. You look at the first day tapes. They opened it up and they said, go in. And that's where all of this began. But this is an amazing thing that they've done here.
But listen, people don't have to come here. If they self-deport and go home, they can come back legally. We will let them come back legally.
And there is a lot of self-deportation.
Yes. But if you wait and we bring you to this facility, you don't ever get to come back to America. You don't get the chance to come back and be an American again and work here. So.
They weren't with us when the President and Secretary Kevin and I, we went through the intake. So right when you do the intake, they have the information about voluntary departure. They have the ability, obviously you guys are funding that because it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. So even if they get brought to the front doorstep here, they still have an opportunity to just go back voluntarily, and then this way they're
How
not,
fast does that take from the minute that, let's say they get in here, they're like, hey, I want to stay here, I want to go back to...
We can put them on a plane that day and take them home. We'll buy buy their plane ticket, go home, and then they get the chance to come back legally. If they wait and say
If
we're
they
not
do
going to do
that,
that,
they can come back legally after a period.
Mr. President, you've talked recently about the idea of finding some way to get farm workforce and service sector workforce, and I think you've discussed somehow a program of people leaving on a sponsorship and coming right back. Can you give us a little more detail about that and why, in the view of some hardliners, it's not
We take
amnesty?
care of our farmers and hotel workers and various other people. And we're working on it right now. And Ron's going to be involved, and you're involved already. So we have a case, a lot of cases where ICE will go into a farm, and these are guys working there for 10, 15 years, no problem. The farmers know them. We're going to put this.
Okay, this is Benny Johnson, and he's got some great openings because he's got money and he's got 5 million subscribers. Crocker Ice. That's right. We have Crocker Ice.
We hope Carol Mother gets asked about this. President Trump will be attending the opening of Alligator Alcatraz.
That's right. That's right. Benny has some of the best openers, and Trump, we've already seen it. They've opened it. Airstrip 1 need a Trumpian. So yeah, guys, I threw in the link. If any of the admins are around, please cut and paste that link. Come on up. Let's hear what you got to say about Donald Trump's Alligator Alcatraz. Some people are comparing it to, some of the lefties are comparing it to Auschwitz. Of course, they only love Holocaust and Auschwitz when it suits their agenda. Normally, they just hate the Jews. It's free Palestine until they want to do a Hitler comparison, and then Auschwitz comes right up. I mean, technically, to most of these lefties, Auschwitz would have been a summer camp, right? I mean, what's wrong with Auschwitz? Auschwitz was a pleasant place, right? It was a wonderful summer camp or winter camp or whatever, spring break for the Jews, because you guys despise the Jews. You scream from the river to the sea. You say deaf to the IVF, but nevertheless you still got a thing about the Traz, the Alka. But yeah, as soon as it suits you, you're comparing it to what do you call it? Hold on. I found something actually on the internet. Sometimes the glory of the internet is lost on us. This was after. I hope you guys can see this. Let me see what you guys can see. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it. Now, admittedly, the restream sign has covered up that section. I'll read it out for you. This is Diane Abbott after Bob Villan made the comments that they did, or shouted the slogan that they did. Diane Abbott came out with a statement. I think the BBC allowing Bob Dylan's rant about deaf people receiving IVF treatment was highly inappropriate. Deaf to the IVF hearing has nothing to do with reproductive organs. Whoever did this was absolutely the best. Was friggin' Manchester Fertility. She's standing in front of a Manchester Fertility sign. Deaf to the IVF. Oh, Diane. You know, I've actually seen her several times around London. One time, last time I was at a protest, she literally walked in front of me, and and she just looks like a dithery old woman that's like at the end of her life. This is like she's not only in the winter season, she's like in February of her winter years. It's like right in there in the last, like any minute now she's gonna, I swear, I think she at one point she's just gonna drop in the middle of like a speech. She looks so just old as fuck. I mean, you look at Jeremy Corbyn, he still has a bit of spring in his step. He's still a bit energetic. He's still got a bit of a you know, a bit of a twang in his, you know, he talks confidently, and he's, you know, he's walking around relatively okay. She looks absolutely worn the F out. I mean, you would think they should retire by now. I mean, how old is Diane Abbott? She's got to be way past it in her 60s. She's got to be 70s plus. There's no way she's in her 50s. Fuck no, there's no way she's in her 50s. How old is Diane Abbott? 71. Bitch, retire. You're done. Isn't the retirement age like 67 or something for 65 for women? Let me see. She's 71. Jeremy Corbyn is 76. These people should be way out of politics, when they should be on a rocking chair. There you go. What is the retirement age in the UK? 67 if you were born between 2026 and 2028. It's going to be currently 66 for both men and women, and will be increasing to 67 by 2026, 2028. So she's way past 71. Corbyn is 76. Just give it up. They don't want to give up their seats. That's what it is. They just don't want to give up this goddamn seat, because they know that there's a good chance they'll probably lose those seats to some conservative or reform. I hope reform takes it from them. God, I hope reform takes it from them next election cycle, because they'll be standing, I guarantee they'll be standing in the next election cycle too. These people are going to run till they die. This is why there should be an age limit, upper age limit for politicians, man. Politicians in America and in the UK, there has to be a retirement age. Like, you know, you hit the regular retirement age of the national retirement age. That's it. You're done. You're done. They'll give you some golden parachute or whatever the hell it is, and they just kick you out. Forget it. You just can't run again. Or there should be just term limits of how many times you can run. Like, you can run four times as a politician. Imagine if you could only run 4 times as a politician. My God, the cycling of politicians that we would have in this country would be unbelievable. We would have new, fresh blood politicians in touch with the zeitgeist, in touch with the people, and we wouldn't have these dithery old boomers. You know, I mean, God, I can't believe people still vote for her. It's unbelievable. I think that's how it should be. I think you should have four times you can run as a politician. You can run for 4 terms. Each of them are like 4 or 5 years. And you either get, I mean, if you can't get shit done, I mean, 4 years each term is a 4 to 5 year term limit for a politician. So you're essentially getting 20 years as a politician. And if you can't fix the problems with the country and fix some issues in 20 years, then you don't deserve to be in that position anyway. I mean, let's be honest. If there were term limits for people like Corbyn, the fact that this man's been a politician pretty much his entire life, we shouldn't have lifelong politicians. That's a massive mistake. Politics should not be a lifetime career. It should be a service, like a soldier, like a civil servant, whatever. Even civil servants, they're there forever. They need to have term limits. I swear, I think we should have term limits for civil servants. Only the good die young. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, CCD? You're absolutely right, my friend. You're absolutely right. Only the good die young. These fuckers live to like 100. And they'll keep running for fucking office all that time as well. Does anyone know how to... What is it? This is Asceti's carpet. Does anyone know how to get Somali toenails out of the carpet? God damn. God damn. What do you Somalis have? Is this some kind of special kind of toenail? 100% and 100% directed at Biden. Hard to get off the gravy train. Yes, that's right, Sonny. That's right, Sonny. Yeah, Trump is, but those are rare people, man. Rare, but I'm not even saying age limits anymore. I'm saying the same as the president only gets 2 terms in American politics. The politicians, the senators and the Congress people in Britain, the MPs, they get 4 terms. That's 4 terms. That's more than enough to achieve whatever the hell it is you want to achieve in politics. You get 20 good years in politics, and then that's it. If you don't achieve whatever the hell it is you want to achieve, tough. You're out. You can't run again. Open the space for new blood. And that's it. That's it. That's my take. Anyway, guys, if no one wants to jump on, what time is it? How long have I been going for? 48 minutes. Christ, I didn't even break an hour. I'm already done with this topic. What else is there? Lefty's losing it. Did she actually cover any of this? This is more pride.
Now to some CNN craziness. Let's hear from former Congressman Jamal Bowman. Remember that Democrat race baiter? Well, he's now on CNN claiming that black folks are suffering serious health issues because people are using the N-word.
You can't be calm about this. I'm a black man in America. The reason why heart disease...
I'm white, I can't comment
Listen
on
to
that.
what I'm saying. The reason why heart disease and cancer and obesity and diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day. If your colleagues would listen and try to learn and engage and grow and stop being so hateful, we could have a better country.
Holy shit. Holy shit. I thought that the race grifting had reached peak, but this is... I always think I never get surprised at the race grifters, but this one... because the reason... Let me just listen to this bit again. Because this can't be, this cannot come out of a serious human being's mouth.
I'm a black man in America. The reason why heart disease...
I'm white, I can't comment
Listen
on
to
that.
what I'm saying. The reason why heart disease and cancer and obesity and diabetes are bigger in the black...
Heart disease, obesity, cancer, and... What was it? Oh, damn it. I forgot. Hold on.
And cancer. The reason why heart disease...
Heart disease.
Listen to what I'm saying. The reason why heart disease and cancer and obesity and diabetes are bigger in the black community.
The reason why heart disease, cancer, obesity, and diabetes is greater in the black communities because you're being called an N-word. Oh my God. Oh my God. The retardedness of this is unfathomable. This man said it with a straight face. Look at this. Look at this. No, not even a flinch of irony in his face or sarcasm. He meant every word he said, and he has no regrets. No regrets that he said this on CNN that was broadcasted to the world. Oh, Lord. Oh, please. I mean, The thing is, the left still wins politicians. After all of this shit, there are still morons who still vote for Democratic politicians in America. Britain, I mean, if he said this in Britain, it would just be, there'll be literally a unanimous agreement amongst every asshole on that panel. No one would even dare to be honest, if you actually challenged that statement in Britain, you'd probably get 3 to 5 years in prison for racism or hate speech. That's the fucking irony. If you said that in Britain and you disagreed with that statement, you'd probably go to prison for hate speech. I'm addicted to cigarettes. Maybe my ancestors had tobacco farm slaves. Do I owe someone or should I sue? I don't know, man. I don't know. That is a confusing scenario you're in. You should simultaneously sue tobacco companies and pay reparations from what you gained from the lawsuit to the black community. It's like you're literally taking from the left hand and passing it to the right hand. What's this one? Penelope, love you, Penelope. He needs the white man ice cream. Oh, goddamn. These, by the way, everyone who don't know some of the names in here from my like other channels or old school followers, CCD and Penelope and quite a few others are from Chaotic Truth's channel. As some of you may or may not know, Chaotic Truth is just fantastically hilarious and a great host of the Chaotic Truth show. So yeah, great guy. Okay, let's see this.
Because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day. If your colleagues would listen and try to learn and engage and grow and stop being so hateful, we could have a better country.
Just unbelievable levels of race baiting lunacy there. Let's stick with CNN. They had some sobering news for their ever-diminishing audience. This needed a trigger warning for the lefty snowflakes because there's no way you can spin this data. It is historic. The fact is that despite the relentless fake news and media hysteria, Donald Trump is the most popular president with Republican voters.
Of course, he's still more popular. He just opened up Alligator Alcatraz. At what point in the history of mankind, not only United States, but mankind, can you point to the Alligator Alcatraz? No one's ever done it. It's historic. I mean, of course he's going to be popular. He opened up Alligator Alcatraz. It's like he's literally opening up new fun rides in the state of Florida since Disney has gone woke in his shit. They're opening up new theme parks called Alligator Alcatraz and Anaconda. Shit, I got to Anaconda something. Shit, I can't think of a good phrase. And somebody in the chat come up with a good phrase with Alligator Alcatraz and Anaconda Penitentiary. There you go.
Ever. And that includes the great Ronald Reagan after he survived a assassination attempt. Grab some popcorn and enjoy this lefty rage bait, also known as facts.
So this isn't just Republicans who like Donald Trump. This is Republicans who love Donald Trump. And he's up like a rocket. Look at this. In July 2017, the strongly approved was 53%. That's pretty good. But look at where he is now. 63% of Republicans strongly approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing about 5 months into his presidency. Republicans love Donald Trump the way that Americans love Disney World. The bottom line is 63%.
I wouldn't be so sure about how much Americans love Disney World anymore. I'll be perfectly honest with you. You guys should check that because Disney is losing money by the buckets every day. That's right. Donald Trump is going to open a new set of attractions in Florida because Disney is woke and shit.
That is a huge huge base. And of course, it's just part of a Republican base in which about 90% of them overall approve of him, including the somewhat approves as well.
I mean, every politician would like this number here, especially to see it go up. How about compared to other presidents who were Republicans?
Yeah, it's history making. It's history making. What are we talking about here? So why don't we look back? We have all the presidents, Republican presidents, going back over the last 35, 36, 37 years. What are we talking about? GOP, who strongly approved 5 months in. Look at this. George H.W. Bush, Bush 41, 46%. Bush 43, 59. You see Trump, the first term, 53. But look at this. 63%. He beats all the other Republicans on the board here. And I was looking even back since Reagan. And get this, Donald Trump beats Ronald Reagan when it comes to the strongly approved 5 months. And of course, Reagan was coming off that high after that assassination attempt. So the bottom line is Donald Trump is making history with the Republican base. He is more beloved by this Republican base than any Republican base loved any GOP president 5 months in.
Of course he does. Of course he is. This is literally what they voted for. He is literally doing what the people want. What do you think? I mean, there was a picture of or a video of border people running to the borders, the American border, under Biden versus under Trump. Let me see. There was a little video.
Just
this will have to do. This is what they were doing under Joe Biden versus under Donald.
Wow.
Look at this. Under Biden, under Donald Trump. What do you want? What the hell do you think you want? This is what was running towards the walls. The hordes of people running towards the American border under Biden Kamala, under Donald Trump. Empty. Absolutely friggin' empty. So yes, people want this. This is what they voted for. They didn't vote for this shit. No, they didn't. They voted for this. Just empty, quiet borders. Not a mouse. Not a, what do you call it? Nothing was stirring. Not even a mouse. That's right. No one's around the border anymore because they know if they get in, they're going to go to Alligator Alcatraz. And nobody wants to go to Alligator Alcatraz. Yes. This is what we want in Britain. And we are an island nation. They literally have to come through treacherous seawater to get to us. And we still can't stop them. This is still happening. This upper part is happening in boat versions, in boat form in Britain. That's what's happening in Britain. And we can't stop them because we have no politicians with testicles. Because this is our leader. This is our freaking leader. This dipshit is entrusted with the welfare of this nation. That's why our borders don't look like. Where is it? Where are you? Where are they? There you go. This is why our borders look like this top part here, and your borders look like that part down there. Son of a bitch. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am so done with this country. I swear I am so done. I'm just done. If come next election cycle, the Brits vote in another Labour government, which the funny thing is they might. This is what I'm scared of. There's actually a good chance we might end up with another Labour government because currently we suck ass at. Hold on. I need to connect this shit. Son of a bitch. Bear with me. Sorry, everyone. Let me stop the sharing for a minute because I don't want to accidentally expose any shit. But hold on. Let me see if I can get a good headline here. Okay. Sarah Pochin dismisses Ben Habib's launch for a new political party. Oh, Christ. It's hard to actually get a decent... This might be something. Okay. I guess we'll just have to go with this one. Let me just share and care. Sorry, guys. It's a little boring while you guys wait until I can share again. Okay. Now, this, although you can't see everything, but I think you can see some of it. Zahra Sultana says, now she's a Labour MP right now, she is quitting Labour to start party with Corbyn. So Jeremy Corbyn and this lady Zahra Sultana, because obviously this is all about Palestine, and as I said, I think by 2028 there will be an Islamic party or a very Islamic Sharia heavy party, not necessarily running under the Islamic name or banner, but there will be essentially an Islamic party de facto, possibly headed by Jeremy Corbyn and Zahra. But ex-Labour MP Zahra Sultana has announced she is resigning from the party, and in order to try and start a new party with her former leader Jeremy Corbyn. So that's what's happening in the Labour side. But on the Conservative side, holy crap, is it a mess. Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe clash as both announce new Reform UK rival on same day. So Rupert Lowe as well as Ben Habib have both launched a conservative right-wing parties, essentially. Ben Habib's party, I believe, is called the Advance Party, and Rupert Lowe both announced they are launching separate Reform UK rival movements this morning, sparkling a mixture of criticism and support from fans. Both politicians who have had furious fallings out with Nigel Farage over the past year consistently announced coincidentally, son of a bitch, I can't read, coincidentally announced their new right-wing political projects on X today. Lowe, the more prominent of the two as a sitting MP, announced his founding Restore Britain party. God, there's always Britain in the name. So Restore Britain, a new movement but not a political party, putting together policy prescriptions for Britain and lobbying the government. He announced, I do not have all the answers. I am not a politician. He literally is a politician. He is literally a member of literally a member of parliament, and yet nevertheless I'm not a politician. I found myself in parliament independent and isolated without a party, but strangely, during my time in politics, I have never felt more part of a team. There are good, talented, educated people all over the country who are tired of petty Westminster politics. So he's found the Restore Britain group, I guess, political lobbyists. I guess they're not really going to be a political party, I suppose. And then Ben Habib has founded the Advanced UK. This is the state of Britain. Absolute shit show. I mean, in all honesty, I'm happy that the Labour side is also fracturing into potentially an Islamist group as well as traditional Labour, which will suck away some of the Muslim vote from Labour. But this Advance and Rupert Lowell, I mean, Rupert Lowell, he's still saying he's not really, he hasn't established a party. He's just a lobbying group, which is fine. But Advance, UKIP, because we already have UKIP, we have Advanced, and we have Reform. I'll be honest, I hang out with the UKIP guys. You know, I've spoken to Tim, Tanconi, Nick Tanconi several times. Great guy, seems like a genuine person. He was with Turning Point UK before. He's a good orator, but UKIP is a dead horse. You're just flogging a dead horse. UKIP has been going for 20 odd years, I think. I think they're coming up to like 20 years. I remember UKIP back in the 90s, I'm sure, when this talk show guy joined them, Kilmer or Kill something. Anyway, some talk show guy was talking about the UKIP. They made it as with Nigel Farage. They made it into the MEPs a few times, and if Nigel Farage was still with them, maybe they would have been where Reform is now. But I'm sorry, Nick is not going to make Nick wants to make Reform into some kind of a Christian thing, and British people are not about that. They're not going to vote UKIP. UKIP is a dead horse. It's dead man walking. UKIP is never going to make it. They'll never even make one. This is my prediction. 2028, UKIP will not even have one MP in the Houses of Parliament. Whilst Reform has a chance to grow their numbers, I still don't think they'll win an overall election. I mean, I know the polls say some things, but I'll be honest, I don't think UKIP is actually going to win the election. At best, they can potentially win enough seats from the Conservatives to have some kind of a Reform Conservative coalition government. Maybe. But I'm even skeptical about that. So I'm not entirely sure. UKIP isn't going to do it. Reform is maybe they'll have a better chance. And then you got all these fractures. You got the Rupert Lowell supporters who hate Farage, and then you've got Ben Habib supporters who hate Farage. And I'll be honest, you guys are just going to suck votes away from Reform. You're not going to gain anything. You yourselves are not going to gain anything. You're just going to suck votes away from the Conservatives and Reform, which would mean a Labour win. That's it. That's what we're looking at. A Labour second term. And I'm literally leaving Britain. If Labour wins a second term, I'm packing my shit up. Whatever measly amount of morsel of wealth I have, I'm going to pack it up into a suitcase and GTFO this place. Because there's no way I'm staying around for another 5 years of a Labour government to take a giant, and they'll see it as a mandate as well. They'll think that that's some kind of a frigging mandate they got from the people, so they're just going to push their shitty agendas even harder. And I'm not going to pay the taxes. I don't want to pay taxes in this country anymore to help fucking Afghanis and Saudis and Sudanese to live in 4-star hotels. I just don't want to. I'm sorry. I have a thing about paying fucking money to a bunch of Afghans, Sudanese, and Syrians to live in 4-star hotels. I don't like that. I have a thing about that. I don't want that. If I want that money to go to anything, I'll give it to my fucking mother and my own relatives. So, No, I don't want to. I don't want to pay these people. Hello, Lieutenant. How are you? How are ya? How are ya?
I'm repeating. How are ya?
How is life? How is things?
Don't you?
Sorry?
You miss his voice. You miss his voice.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. I'm echoing back. All right, took it off. That's better.
Yeah.
So,
I had to. I knew.
I'm not too-
I knew you were gonna get echoes.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I've just been in One Generation Media's having a chat. Going off what I just heard, have you been talking about these new parties that are forming? Like Ben Habib is now forming his own party. Is that what you were
That's
talking
right.
about there?
Well,
Okay.
I started off with the Alligator. That was the main title of the show, the Alligator Alcatraz of Trump in Florida. You know about that?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Donald Trump released, but not Donald Trump, but Donald Trump worked with Ron DeSantis. They built a holding facility for the illegal immigrants, which is in this middle of, it's essentially, I don't know, some kind of abandoned runway, airport, something, in which they're going to build this detention center. It's got a runway right next to it. And then there's only one road in and out of the place, and the rest is surrounded with alligator-filled, jungle and moats or whatever. So they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz.
Right.
And the lefties are losing their shit. They're comparing it to Auschwitz.
Oh, for goodness sake. It's not on which Auschwitz, right? There was 3. There was Auschwitz 1, Auschwitz 2, which is Birkenau, which is the death camp. The first one was where prisoners of war went, so they were treated much better. And then there was Auschwitz 3, which is Monowitz, which is where it was all the slave labor. Like you had Mercedes-Benz, you had Siemens, and all the rest of them, all these big corporations using people to death in there.
So there's a lot of semen in that camp.
There was a lot of semen. Dear, oh dear, Banksy.
I'm sorry. I know it's terrible that I made a joke out of Auschwitz, but just the fact that you said they had a lot of semen. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at the Auschwitz part. It's just the semen thing, and I'm a 12-year-old child.
Yeah.
Okay. Passing on the Siemens.
So yeah, getting back to what I was saying, like which one of those 3 camps are they on about?
Look, these are lefties. They don't know about history and shit.
That will ever be like Birkenau ever again. Do you know what I mean?
Look, these are lefties. They don't know about history and shit.
Of the highest order until they're shipped out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I mean,
so
either way.
A melodramatic 2-year-old tyrants thing, are they?
Sorry?
They're doing the melodramatic, tyrannical 2-year-old nonsense.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Triggered to the fucking.
He's a fascist. He's a fascist.
Yeah, the fascists are far left.
Exactly. So yeah, that was the initial title and sort of thumbnail, because I personally think I created an awesome thumbnail for this particular.
I think Roy wants the link.
Sorry?
I think Roy wants the link.
I put the link in the goddamn chat like 12 times. Nobody clicked. And now that suddenly you're on it.
I'm here, the star of the show's here.
They all want the goddamn link now, huh? How come not? Roy's been on the show from the beginning. Never jumped on. Did not give a shit. But now because we have Lieutenant, because she's the greatest lieutenant ever. She's the best. Fabulous.
I was dropping your link in One Generation Media, so you might have some people coming over from there as well. Hopefully AY, because AY was there as well.
Oh, AY, yeah, I met AY at the protest.
Yeah.
AY Audits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who did. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm moderating on his channel now as well.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Yeah, AY was. He's the one who did that expose on the Uber Eats workers from a migrant hotel.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that went viral. That went crazy.
Yeah.
That was great expose actually. Roy, come back and ask for the link before Lieutenant come home. What?
Oh, he says
Link don't
doesn't
work.
work. It does work.
What do you mean
I'm
link
in.
don't work? It worked for Lieutenant. Clearly, she's doing something you ain't. Let me see. This is the link. This is the link.
There it is again.
Yeah. You posted it? I thank you.
Yep.
And I shall post it again. Whoa, I posted a G. I apologize.
That was a G.
That was top G, bottom G.
There you go. OG.
OG. Oh, that's the best. Oh, you. That's fantastic. Top G, bottom G, OG.
Oh, I see where you took it. I said OG, not OG. Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Happy Thursday.
I thought you got that. I thought you made that pun.
No.
Come on, OG.
As if I would. Honestly, I'm waiting.
Oh, you deny it now. But we know. We know what you meant. You got the best G. The greatest G is the OG.
It's because I'm a Lieutenant G, isn't it? Lieutenant General.
Oh,
you see
I
how
see.
clean I am? I just killed it, didn't I?
Yeah. No, that was the OG was so much better.
These bloody Iranians.
Oh, it's terrible. Okay,
It is.
I've sent out the link again.
I did
Roy,
as well.
it's not my fault that you can't make it on here because this is not StreamYard. This is Restream. You may have to do some kind of account, something. It might be that
to mine the other night.
on
I had a
Restream.
little, I had a little chat with him and John in mine.
Well,
Was that Monday night or something?
in that case, then he's doing something wrong. He doesn't know how to use the link. That's what it is. Can't click on the link. Cannot click on the link. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. If you can't click on the link.
Is it because you're in portrait view? Because I've noticed when I'm using the app for YouTube on my phone and it's a portrait view live stream, I can't click on anything in there.
Oh. I would say if you can, Roy, cut and paste the link.
What if I put it in my channel for you, Roy? Because mine's on landscape view.
Let me see if I can put it in the actual. Actually, no, I can't put it in the description because the description is through ThingyYard. I don't know if I can actually edit this description at this stage. I shall try to give it a go. If I can edit the description. Okay, I've posted the StreamYard link or Restream link in the description. I don't know if it's going to show up, but that's all I can do. And I'm going to try and post it regularly in the chat. I think you may have to cut and paste it, something like that.
Roy, I've put it in my live chat in my live stream on YouTube. So if you go there, you'll be able to click on it from there because that's in landscape view.
Ah, yes, good. Maybe that will work. Anyway, you're boring me, Roy. We have to move on with the show. The show must go on. We
Show
can't
must
hold it
go
back.
on.
Oh, yeah. So, Lieutenant, let's get to Ben Habib reform and Rupert Lowe, as well as this Labour partition. What are your thoughts? Shoot.
Ben Habib, I wouldn't trust with anyone's. And the reason why is because for a good few years, all I'd seen from him was brilliant. But there was something inside, instinct, saying there's something not quite right. And then when I was supporting the Big Nose of London, we came across that debate at the Oxford Union, which was in September or October last year. And we went over that. And he was supposed to be arguing, saying that Islam is incompatible with the West. But his argument was pretty lame because he was still saying that Islam is perfect and all of this. So he basically went against us. And he filled those students' heads with misinformation. And stuff that he said, it's like, this guy hasn't even read this book and he's claiming to be a Muslim himself, right? And he's so dishonest and he's a politician. It seems so much like he's actually controlled opposition because he's saying all the right things to get the more conservative minds to be on board with him. And then all of a sudden he dropped that about Islam while he was arguing on the wrong side. Yet what he was saying actually helped the other side, like the Majid Nawaz and all of that, who's another shit tip. So, yeah, like he was just totally pro-Islam. There isn't a problem with Islam, but in its current state, yes, it's incompatible with the West. So as if it can be changed, which we know it can't. It's had 1,400 years to change. And now him starting up his own party, what's he going to get from that aside from splitting the vote even further? Because look at how long it takes for a party to become established. It takes them a good 5-10 years to gain traction. Okay. And at this time, we need to be consolidating the Conservatives and making a party that is truly conservative, not a fake one, right? Which is still going to be establishment like what we've got at the moment. We need it to be truly conservative, not his way of garnering people and taking people away from something
let
that
me just
can
let
be
me just
good.
interrupt for 1 second. Slim, you do know you got your camera on, okay, mate? You're cool with that, right? Just put a thumbs up if you're cool with the cam. Okay, he's cool. Thank you, sir. Sorry, Lieutenant, I do apologize. Oh, Roy just fell off. He was in and he just fell off. What the hell? And Roy's back. All right, Roy, Slim. Well, let's go with Slim since you were on already. Slim, what are your thoughts about this Rupert Lowe? Well, actually, any of the topics from the Alligator Alcatraz or all the way down to the current state of British politics.
Well, in the current state of British politics, I'd like to see the right unite, as it were. There's so many small right-wing or moderately right-wing parties, and none of them seem to get on.
Sorry, Slim. Just pause for 1 second. Miss Lieutenant, could you please mute yourself because your breathing is coming through quite heavily. I'm sorry. I mean, I usually enjoy your heavy breathing, but in a different context. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm 14. All right. Yes. Sorry, Slim. Keep going.
As I was saying, when you look at the left wing, they're so well united. It doesn't matter what sort of thing you actually support on the left-hand side of politics. They all seem to band together. They're all out waving placards. They're all out causing trouble. But the right wing, despite all having basically the same ideas and opinions, they're all just wee groups here and wee groups there, and that is a part of being right wing, as the left wing call it. You know, ordinary people that aren't demented liberals. But we need to unite. We need to stand together rather than all have tiny wee groups, whether it's David Curtin, Ben Habib, Nigel Farage. The list is endless for the right wing.
I'm with you. I mean, what do you think about the fact that Corbyn and this Zara politician are kind of splintering off?
Well, Corbyn is kind of got a cult personality. There's a lot of people follow him because he is who he is and no other reason. Zara Sultana is an idiot. She's a simpleton. And that's hard to avoid when you're talking about her.
Mm.
I've
Okay,
never
let's
heard
bring...
us make an intellectual or intelligent point.
I'm with you. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's bring in Roy. Roy, big up, Roy. What's up?
Yo.
Good, man.
What's
good.
happening, fella?
How's
it going, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. What do you think? This fracture that is... I mean, obviously, there's a massive fracture in the right conservative side of things, you know, Ben Habib and Farage and all of these people.
Yeah.
But do you think that this, like Slim, that this fracture in the left side with Corbyn and Zara, is that not going to make any real difference?
Yeah. Fuck the left, right? I don't give a shit about the left, to be honest with you. But my money's on Rupert Lowe joining the Conservatives and taking over. Not this election, maybe not this next election, but he's playing a game, very smart game, and we'll see where it goes. But I reckon he's going to take over the.
But doesn't this mean that if this fracture continues and the right side can't actually coalesce behind a single party or a single leader, we're just going to get another 4 years of Labour after this one? We're just going to get 8 years of Labour.
Well, we're fighting against a uniparty, you know, Lib Dems, Conservatives, Labour. We need to rinse it out. It needs to be rinsed out. I mean, there's a lot of backlash now on the Labour side. A lot of MPs are turning on the front benches because their constituents are getting up and saying, who the fuck are you representing? You're not representing me by making these kind of...
We just lost Roy. I think Roy's connection is in and out. So, Lieutenant, back to you, my love. Where's this all going to end? Are we? I mean, I predict we're going to get another Labour government. I really do. At this rate, the way I see the way the right wingers are fractured.
When are we due an election?
Is it like 2028?
4 years.
So we've got 3 years.
Yeah, give or take.
Four years. So
technically about 4
2029.
years because it's going to be like mid 2028, mid to late.
So about 3 and a bit years, right? So we've still got time.
Yeah. I mean, technically yes, but at the moment, I just don't see a right wing party which people are really going to coalesce around. I mean, we've got Farage, which is, you know, hot and cold with a lot of people. I don't see UKIP as a player in this, although a lot of people want to make out. Like, I mean, you know, people like Danny Roscoe and others who really want to push UKIP. I just don't see UKIP as a player at all in any of this. I don't think Advance is going to make it anywhere. Like you said, a lot of people don't like Ben Habib because they still see as a guy who's kind of protects Islam because of their background. And Rupert Lowell, by the way, he's not starting a political party, as I mentioned earlier on. He's starting a pressure group. He's starting a lobbying group with his kind of efforts. So he's not actually going. He's not running. He's not, you know, starting a new political party. which actually makes Slim's analysis kind of interesting, because he says that there's a chance Luther might take over the Conservatives. I don't think so, because his politics are way out of whack with the mainstream Conservatives. But if the Conservatives actually find themselves to be in such a danger from someone like Farage and Reform, they might welcome someone like Lowell in, but he won't make it as a political leader. He will be like maybe a front bencher or cabinet kind of guy. But I don't think I think he's far too green as a politician to go straight into becoming the Conservative leader by the next election. It's not really going to happen. Not a guy who's been first term elected MP suddenly becomes leader of the Conservative Party. I don't see that. I don't know. Go ahead.
Me?
Sorry. Slim, thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead, Slim.
I don't disagree. I can see these Conservatives starting to panic and put somebody in that they perceive to be far right in their mind. But the Conservative version of far right is now so far left that it would have been communist 50 years ago.
Mm.
We now live in an age where the Overton window has shifted so far that ex-trade unionists like myself are now getting called Nazis.
Yep.
Right. Now, I spent my working life protecting the rights of others, standing on a picket line, and then somebody told me I was right-wing. The first time somebody actually said that to me, I was gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked. Now, it shows you how far times have changed. My opinions haven't changed. I still want to protect the rights of the working man and the decent folk, the housewives and the children. But for doing so, I'm now called far right. You are far right. And there I'm standing on the picket line with my 10%, gay is 10% banner, right? Getting called far right. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm a shop steward, mate. I pay money to the Labour Party.
Yeah.
And you're calling me far right. That's how far things have changed. Now, if you bear that in mind, the Conservatives, who are no longer Conservative in any fashion, I can see them trying to pick somebody that in their perception is right-wing, but it won't work. I think, going on the popular view that Reform are storming ahead at the moment, and I think they're going to stay there. I'm not a fan of Nigel Farage. I think he's just there for the beer and fags.
But you see, this is my fear, is that people don't particularly like Farage, although the British public is becoming desperate and they just don't see any way out. They can't rely on the Conservatives. They hate Labour, but they don't particularly like Farage. And I just think that we see the greatest vote snatcher out of all of this, which I think a lot of people overlook, is the non-voter or the apathetic voter, the one who will not vote, the couch. This is what in America they call it, the greatest vote winner of all is the couch. They'll just sit at home and not vote. And that's how you get another Labour term. Is essentially they'll win, with like 10 people voting in each constituents, but nevertheless, since no one else voted, they'll just win it because no one else votes. That's my biggest fear, is the apathy and the couch. That will destroy any chance of reform.
I agree with it. There is also another group that have a major effect on voting, and that's the majority of mushrooms. And mushrooms are the people who live in the dark and are fed in shite. They know nothing. They just hear, they people, them, there, and it's all based on the mainstream media's projection of what they are. I still have elderly parents, right? They watch the BBC, they watch STV, They listen to the radio, and it's all state propaganda. I call it Pravda. But their views are so far away from reality that it's unbelievable to me that they think what they think. And it's all based on what comes spewing out of that goggle box in the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to quickly say to open your eyes, big up Jordan. I will be there on the 13th of September, covering the event, hopefully live and direct. But I don't know anyone else apart from the YouTubers that I know who will most definitely go. But yeah, I don't know anyone else apart from that. But again, I'm, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. Actually, here's a good one, Slim. What are your thoughts overall on Tommy Robinson being any kind of election winner for any given party? Like if he attaches his name to any given party, is because I've said this for a long time. I think Tommy, as much as I agree with a lot of things he says, politically he's a poison chalice. He seems like he bring a lot of people to your party, but ultimately he'll kill it. And because the mainstream society in Britain is not a Tommy fan, it just isn't. I mean, you can agree with it, you can like it or hate it, but it's just the way it is. It's just the mainstream society and the voting society, populace, are just not a Tommy crowd, and so they're not going to vote for any party that's got him associated with it. And this is why Reform has been so, stringent about distancing themselves from the Tommy movement. But what do you think? Is there enough people that would vote for a Tommy Robinson affiliated party?
I think a lot of the silent majority are Tommy fans. The problem that Robinson has is, yet again, the mainstream media. Let's take it back to the statement of being a poison chalice, because his image in the mainstream media has been destroyed from day one, and they persist in the character assassination. They've been calling him a racist, they've been calling him all these words that admittedly are now losing effect. But the public perception of Tommy is that he's a wee fraudster, let me think of the others, thug, associated, and he is associated with the FLA, the Football Lads Alliance. And I think they're a bunch of good guys, to be honest. They're the white van men and the electricians and the plumbers that come and fix your house and I'll respect you. They're respectable to you, But public opinion is a lot of it, especially for most people who don't take an interest in current affairs, and their window to the world is that 15-minute news on the evening news and the BBC or on the car radio. So Tommy has a very bad public eye. Personally, I would vote for Tommy because he's had such a hard time. He stood tall for all the height he actually is. He stood tall and been proud of what he's done. And what he's done is respectworthy. He's opened up people's eyes to the grooming gangs a long time before anyone else was talking about it. He's endured like a martyr for his cause, and he has not yielded. That's the sort of people you would actually stand behind. My personal opinion of Tommy Robinson is maybe I'm neither here nor there. I don't think Tommy would be a great statesman, but you don't have to run a country. You don't have to be the statesman. You can employ these people. You can get people around you who are good at international affairs, good at finances, good at the drains, for instance. You can employ a guy to fix the drains. He doesn't need to know about the plumbing to fix the drains, right? He just hires or employs someone to do it. But the mainstream image is really lacking for Tommy, and that's kind of sad.
Actually, whilst you guys were talking, and actually, Lieutenant, I would love your take on Tommy Robinson as well. But what you were saying about Ben Habib, I just want to play this little segment from LBC because I think it's Okay, I've got a real rant basically about it. That's why I want to play it, because I want to rant afterwards. Damn it! How do we get this thing? Okay, that'll work for now. Now this.
It's that woman.
This is Lady something something something. Damn, I forgot her name. Channel. I can't remember her name. The number of migrants. Doesn't have a name here, but anyway, she's a prominent like person who comes on a lot of different talk shows and stuff as a Yasmin Al-Bahi Brown. She's just a lefty talking head essentially. But what I want to point out to this, and this is something that in the Western world, I would say at least the last 100 years for sure, but certainly the last 40, 50 years, they've been so desperate to appear not racist and not tribal, okay? In England, in France, in Sweden, Spain, Germany, these are very sort of prominent nations where they desperately wanted to appear not to be racist anymore. And so they try to destroy the sense of tribalism that most people have in the world. So the Englishman has his tribe, the Welshman has his tribe, the Scots has his tribe, and they know their tribe. They know who their people are. They know who's part of their tribe and who's not, instinctively. Everybody does. And the governments of these nations try to beat that out of these people. That no, just because we're all British, and any man or woman who comes from Pakistan, India, Syria, Mongolia, and China that gets that shiny British passport is now one of your tribe. Is no different to another Scotsman, no different to another Welshman, no different to another Englishman. And so you better remember, and you better, at the point of imprisonment, you better never pretend that these people are not part of your tribe, or never say that they're not part of your real tribe. They are your tribe. They're your people. Just like Portsmouth, Southport, when a insane kid from a Uganda, was it Ugandan? No, I forgot the Ruda Kabana. Where was he from originally? His parents.
Rwanda.
A Rwandan psychopath is referred to as a Welsh lad, a nice Welsh boy. That's how they try to beat this concept of tribalism out of the English, the British, the Welsh, the English, the Scots, Northern Irish. But the reason I'm harping on about this is because look at this Yasmin here, and look at the way she reminds Ben Habib of who his tribe actually is. She brings it right back to the old world and reminds him who's your actual tribe, who you should be on the side of, and why you're batting for the foreigner, even though she is Lady Yasmin, blah blah blah, and she will claim as she's as British, as English as Queen Elizabeth, but nevertheless she immediately falls on those tribal lines when she's dealing with Habib. Because we all know who our tribe actually is. I am under no illusion who my tribe is. My tribe is of the Iranians. I love Britain. I live in Britain. I love the British. But my tribe is the Iranian. It will always be the Iranian, and it has always been the Iranian, because that's who I am. I can pile on all kind of delusional bullshit about Britishness, but ultimately, my tribe is of the Iranians. And I can love the British, and I can live with the British, and I can even live as of the British. But I will never be the British. I will never be the Englishman. I will never be the Irishman or the Welshman or the Scotsman. I can never be them, because I am Iranian, and that is what I will always be. And this is the delusion that they try to sell to the English and the Welsh and the British and the Scots, that these people are of you now. They are the same as you. And she is now reminding Ben Habib, exactly where his tribal lines should be and his loyalties should be. Listen to this bit. It's incredibly telling.
A new hunting sport, Ben. You have a background, a migration. Let me remind the people listening.
Yeah.
You're as brown as I am. Though I know
twice
you're
as brown as me.
Not, yeah, yours is artificial.
Well.
So never forget who you are. Secondly,
See, that was the line right there. Never forget who you are. She's taking him right back to the home country. She's taking him right back to Lahore or Islamabad or wherever was the home country that they came from. She's taking him right back there. Remember who you are. Remember your tribe. Don't go against the tribe. Yeah. We can play this game with the English and the Welsh and the Scots and pretend that they're like we're the same as them. We can banter that bullshit with them. But you and I know where our shit is. You and I know where the home country is and where our loyalties should be at. You've deluded yourself. You think that you're part of these lot. You're not. Your shit still goes right back to Lahore and Bangalore. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'd like to add something there. The left wing are very guilty of playing identity politics. I'm sorry, second my ear making that very hard. They are racist. That's why they keep pointing the finger and calling you racist, fascist, Nazi, all of the other things that they like to use to destabilise you and ruin your conversation. And that's all they use it for.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right. And this is what I think maybe some of the naiver English people and Welsh and Scots are starting to realize is that we were sold this line of crap that we're all kumbaya, we all live together and hold hands and play a guitar around the campfire. But these people are not playing by the rules that we were told we were supposed to play by. They're still playing by the old rules. They still have their old loyalties. They still adhere to their old tribal loyalties. They're not part of our tribe. What the hell? If they're not part of our tribe, why the fuck am I, trying to kill myself to include them into my tribe? They don't want to be part of my tribe. They're just pretending until they get their way. They're just putting the wool over my eyes. I was trying to, this is why I love the English and the British as a whole. They actually wholeheartedly went into this to try to integrate and try to welcome these people in. And they actually thought that they, what they felt in their heart was what other people felt in their heart when it came to this land. And now they're beginning to realize, no, these people are not loyal to my people, to my land. Then they're just here for the goods. As long as they've got this free ride, as long as things are good, they're here. They're essentially the fair weather friend. As long as the shit is good, we're on board. The minute shit turns bad, we're gone. We're out of here. We're not bleeding for this country. We're not bleeding for this land. No, this is your land. The minute this is why I've been saying it for years. The Conservatives' brilliant four-chess plan has been to turn Britain into the exact shithole that the refugees are coming from, so that they won't want to come here anymore. That seems to be the Conservative plan for the British migration. I mean, it's tongue in cheek, but I swear to God, my sarcasm has become reality. It's like, if we just make this country shit enough for people not want to come here, we would have solved the immigration problem. No more small boats. Because, in fact, the small boats are going to be from Britain going to Poland. That's where That's where the small boats are going to be going to next. We're going to be getting on a small boat to try and break into frigging Poland and Hungary next. But that's what I mean. I mean, it seems, I kind of say it with a bit of humor, but unfortunately it's becoming reality. Satire has now become, a reality of our world. I'm just going to play this a little bit longer, but you guys got the gist.
Your day, I'm speaking
What's
now.
my ethnicity got to do with protecting the civil society
Because that
in
is
this
your
country?
heritage. And if there had been
So
people...
you're saying I should let,
I'm going
I should
to
let
speak.
foreigners into the...
It's
it's
no, you've
irrelevant.
had your day. I'm speaking
What's
now.
my ethnicity got to do with protecting the civil
Because
society
that
in
is
this
your
country?
heritage.
There you go. There you go. She nails it again. That is your heritage. That is your tribe. Shut up, Habib. You bought into this multiculturalist bullshit too much. You drank that Kool-Aid and believed it, Habib. Shut your mouth. You are not one of them. We're just here to siphon off from these people. You're not actually one of them. You drank that Kool-Aid and believed it for far too long. Get back in line and let's get back to business of sucking this country dry.
And if there had been
So
people...
you're saying I should let, foreigners into this country because I'm...
Stop.
No, but it's a fundamentally
I'm going
flawed
to speak.
principle on which you're
You
arguing.
can come back when she's made a point.
Can you be polite?
I was being...
No, you're not. No, be polite and let me speak. We never hear... It's so convenient, right? To blame those people on boats whom we never see, we never hear. They're not on these programs. Their stories are never told.
It's because most of them can't speak English. Most of them have the educational equivalent of a boiled potato. So yes, I'm sorry, we're not going to get your average Afghan goat herding goat fucker to come on LBC and describe how terrible it was for them to come over, because the Taliban were systematically killing everyone and then putting all their women in bin bags. So yeah, I'm sorry, you're not going to get your average Syrian who 10 minutes ago was eating the heart of his enemy to tell you about how terrible and shocking things were and how he's suffering from PTSD, and he wakes up in the middle of the night with cold sweats of all the horrific shit he had to do in Syria. Yeah, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that, love. No, because there isn't middle-class hoity-toity toffs that come out of Syria and Afghanistan and Somalia these days. You're not going to get too many Oxford-educated Somalis who are going to come on your program telling you about how terrible shit is in Mogadishu. So that's why you're not going to get them. You're not going to hear from them. The thing is, these people don't live. I mean, they're so rich, they're so out of touch with the people on the ground that they honestly think that some camel jockey, some goat herder donkey fucker who just came out of the ass end of Kabul is going to rock up to LBC and with brilliant eloquence explain to you the trauma that he went through and the journey he made from Kabul to London. He's not. These people don't exist. You're an idiot. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm sorry. I went on a bit of a rant on this one, but Lieutenant Slim, go for it. You guys take it. I'm going to shut up.
Right. I'm echoing.
You're wonderful.
Okay, now I'm not. Honestly, Jemima Alibi Brown should not be on the telly. That was decided like at least 5 years ago, surely, by the majority. LBC, why the hell is it still allowed anyway? But anyway, going off what I've just seen there, it doesn't surprise me. She's gone straight to, I mean, it's just so blatant. Anyone who's got a different skin color to her is going to get it, right? Remember, you've got this skin color, Ben Habib, so use it wisely, be part of this tribe, or you can go out with the whites. Choose. That's what that was there, man. She's horrible. She's such a bully. She's so racist. But we see that from peoples that come out of India and Pakistan and other such places. Very, very racist. Very, very prejudiced. Very discriminatory. They've got an old school attitude, mentality, and it's incompatible with where we are in the first world. We don't behave that way in the West. Certainly not in England.
We don't have a caste system either.
That's right.
You see, it's not about the caste system. You have a caste system everywhere in the world. It's not. When I say caste, certainly a class system, certainly a tribal system. Yeah, that's really what it is. I mean, the caste, okay, fair enough. That's a much more strict set of circumstances in which you are born into this category and you will never leave that category forever. You will always be this category of people. But the class system exists in Britain, and a tribal system definitely exists. People used to know the clans of Scotland are tribes. Your surname tells you which clan you belong to. So, of course, they are tribes. Sorry?
My clan was McGregor, traditionally.
There you go. There you go. So, of course, everybody knows who is their people. This is what it boils down to, is who are my people and who are the outsiders. And without a shadow of a doubt, every human being knows this. Now, as I said, with certain advances in recent times in Europe, plus in America with the American model and maybe the Australia models, they try to sort of muddy that water of tribalism. In America, certainly, they try to say, you're all American. Doesn't matter if you're Scottish, Irish, German, Italian. You're all Americans, and we're going to work together and make a great country. And to a lot of extent, that worked, because although the Italians still have Little Italy, and the Sicilians have Little Sicily, and the Koreans have Koreatown, and the Chinese have Chinatown, but they still all pull together to make America what it is, for the most part. But they still have Chinatown. They still have Little Koreatown. They still have Little Sicily. They still have Little, Italy, and all of the in Boston. They still have the Irish. They still have their little tribal enclaves, but they've decided, or they've come. Sorry.
We call them ghettos.
Well, ghettos, but it's not necessarily ghettos in the sense of it's a poor area. I'm sure the Italians in New York, are probably quite well off. But it's just the fact that there's still that little tribal element in there, but they've realized working together is prosperous for all of us. So we will not try to destroy the country. We will work systematically to raise the country, but we are still tribal in our own little way, but we've suppressed the more openly antagonistic tribal aspects of our culture. So I'm not going to go and shoot a bunch of Sicilians because back in the home country we had some kind of blood feud. I'm not going to go and shoot a bunch of, Irish, or the triads are not going to try to kill the Yakuza because of some old beef that they had in Japan and China. They're just going to put that shit aside. They squash that.
Well, even in Glasgow, we have like Chinatown. We have areas that are full of different groups of people, right? But until recently, these groups were all quite happy to get along. You would go shopping. If I want Chinese groceries, I know exactly where to go, right? If I want, we've got Hindus and Sikhs. And the Sikhs, surprisingly, are some of the most respected people here. I've never heard anybody with a bad word to say to them. But as a certain group have come along in the last 20 or 30 years and basically destroyed that cohesion. Right? They're popping up bell-end churches everywhere you look. There's a huge mosque in Glasgow. There are a lot of good people, but the sort of fundamentalist and extremist Islamists, if you've got several billion of your members and only a small percent of them are extremists, that's a big number of people. A big number. And that big number are activist and aggressive in what they do. And they've no shame, because their holy book tells them to be what they are. So we're all basically suffering from a small percentage of a large group. If we could deal with the extremists, the hardliners, the Dawa pushers, if you like, the problem wouldn't be 1/10 as bad as it is. The integration, I don't see actually as a big issue. See if a bunch of people of any denomination want to live with other people like them. I don't see that as a problem. It's when they want to push you and tell you that they're taking over. And they have told me, I've been on your show before, right? I think twice. and you ask me about channel hopping, I go on quite a few different channels to talk to people. I enjoy talking to people.
Mm.
And it's become quite apparent that everybody both has the same problem and is aware of the same problem. It is one group that's the problem, and only a small number of that group. Because most of them are quite happy and would love to just get away from all that nonsense and live with their families, send their kids to school, and open up a new shop in another corner, right? They don't hate you. They just want to take your money off you and buy themselves a new Mercedes. And that's respect worthy. That's why they come here. They work hard, they earn money, and they buy a new Mercedes. Who can disrespect that? And I've pointed out to people, they are there. These same people that are fundamentalists, terrorists, and extremists, they're also the same people that stand in the street corners selling you your morning papers and your rolls or whatever it is, right? And will supply you with what, in fair transaction, what you require. That's business. That's simple. And it's global. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the margins, the bad people, the bad guys. They are the problem. And the bad guys need to be dealt with. Because if we don't deal with them, we're suffering them. And to suffer the people, everybody suffers. They have caused detriment to the lives of millions in this country with their stupid behaviour. Whether it's Ramavan or any other nonsense that they participate in, strapping explosives to themselves and exploding all over the Ariana Grande concert. It's insane what they do in the name of a holy book. Now, I pointed out, Lieutenant mentioned the big nose. I went on the big nose. And honestly, I went on to the big nose to give him a bit of a life on his airspace because he was looking for somebody, just like this evening, looking for somebody. Now I had to wait to get the tablet to go on. But these people, they just have no care, love, or respect for you. And I'm saying you and your country, and you live here. It is your country. It's your home now that you live here, right? They have no consideration, respect, and love for you. And they would be happy to see you spilling your guts on the floor in the name of their holy book. But it's a small percentage of people that are really shitting in this for everybody. If we could deal with them and deal with them harshly, we wouldn't have a problem. It's like the borders. I go on holiday. I went on holiday to Mexico, right? And it's well organised. You need to hand over a passport. You need to pay them money. You actually need to pay them money to leave Mexico. When you're leaving, you have to give them 50 quid banknotes. You'll not take credit cards or anything. You have to stump up cash before they let you out the country again, right? Now, see to come tootling across the channel on a rubber dinghy. When me, personally, I can't cross that channel without a passport and to buy a visa. But they go swimming backwards and forwards on a wee rubber dinghy, come marching up a beach, carrying small arms, drugs, children of fucking that are robbed after some other way. I mean, that to me, this is both insane and horrendous.
Yes.
The same people that are telling you that you should have respect and consideration for people are happy for these people to come waltzing across and rob, rape, and kill the people in our country. And I've no compunction in saying I would treat these people like wild animals. I have zero love for these extremists that are walking about our streets with swords, cutting up decent people, cutting the arms off people to get their Rolex. I don't care who they are. I don't care where they come from. I'd give them a lift out to the middle of the Atlantic and let them swim home. And I really mean that. They disgust me. I worked my whole life for somebody to ruin my day because I'm not supposed to walk down certain streets now. That's disgusting to me.
Well,
I
this
would
is
get them into. I would get them in the fucking cattle trucks and get rid of them. I don't mind telling you. I would
Yeah.
just get them out of the country. Go anywhere you want, mate. You're no staying here. Like the old Elvis Presley movie. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Mm.
And I would herd them down to the beach. And if I had to mutter them into the water and get them to stone in the water until they get picked up, that's what I'd do. Rapists, murderers, robbing people. I mean, even if you take it for the benefit system, they are robbing us blind because they decided they would chuck their phone and their passport in the water. If I chuck my phone and passport in the water coming into Glasgow airport, they'd put me in jail.
Mm.
There's something seriously wrong with this. And the bleeding hearts and artists have let them get away with it far too long. What we need is a very, very firm approach to it. And someone standing saying, excuse me, you lot stand there, or the man with the gun is going to open fire on you lot. Now, passports, tickets, identification, and what the fuck are you doing here?
Yep.
Simple.
But
They've
they
done it
won't.
for hundreds of years.
But the fact is, they won't allow you to. They won't allow you to because European Court of Human Rights and all that other bollocks. So they'll drag you through courts for years for you to be able to just do exactly what you just said. They won't allow you to do this.
And what will happen then? Tell me what's going to happen. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but soon and maybe forever. You know what will happen?
Oh yeah.
The people.
Oh yeah. A lot of
will
people
get
do.
sick of it, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
some little tyrant will stand up and say, "I'm your man, people. I'll fix your problems. I am that man with the machine guns in the army.
Yeah.
I will put them in the cattle trucks and I will send them forth into the abyss. The Atlantic is deep and wide. They can swim anywhere they fucking want to go and we drop them off."
Mm. This is the
the people will be delighted, and that's what we'll end up with. We'll end up with a crackpot who tells you he's going to deal with that lot, and then he's dealing with everybody because if he'd done it to them, he'd do it to you.
Well, this is exactly it, Slim. I mean, you got you kind of hit the nail on the head. The fact is, this is how people like the little mustache man got in, because they allowed the country to get to such an extent where people will vote such an individual in just to get rid of the undesirables, just to make their lives better. Just someone that would actually try to make their lives better. Unfortunately, this is the quandary of our time. Is do we get someone who actually wants to? I mean, they kind of say Trump is that kind of character. This is why they always compare him to the mustache man, because they think that is what the type of person he is, and he's going to do that, whilst all he's actually doing is doing the thing that the people want him to do, which is get rid of the illegals, to fix a lot of the outlandish overspending of the government, to try to shrink the government, to not allow it to become as big and intrusive as it has. Essentially, that's exactly what everyone in Britain would want, but
that's right.
They're not going to get it.
Trump is very much a moderate. He's no opposing and chasing his political enemies down and hounding them. He seems to be a very decent guy. Now, this is for somebody who's really very much involved in the current affairs things as a viewer. I try not to have too many actual opinions. I have opinions, but I don't think that my political opinion is any more valid than anybody else's. It is just an opinion. But observationally, what I observe, Trump seems to be decent. But the further it goes and the worse the situation gets in Britain, we've now got people fighting in the streets over the attacks on children, the attacks on the weak. If this goes much further, people will get excited. And then, as I said, someday, a great orator will stand up. He might have a wee moustache, he might have a beard like old Dulce. And then he'll have certain people on his side, whether it be the FLA, the football lads. And I mention the football lads because people don't realise what they see as the football lads is a small group of the gangs, but they gangs all have families that support them. They all have ordinary people around them that just aren't as militant. But the bandwagon is endless. See if the trouble kicks off, people jump on that bandwagon, right? It's like talking about the Islamists as opposed to Muslims that are people. I like to differentiate between people and Islamists because Muslims are people and Islam is just an idea. Like Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, or a garden gnome. It's just an idea. So people don't want to see Islam taken over. And if they think it's gone, these people think we're soft because we're civil and respectful. But I often have to remind these people, look, mate, we're a tiny wee nation. And we ruled the world at one time. We, the West, a tiny wee corner that you could drop into Australia and spend months trying to find. We are so small that you could put us in the centre of Australia and the Australians wouldn't find our whole nation for months. They'd be getting reports of a country having showed up and they'd be like, what are you talking about? It's going to take us a week to drive out there. We ruled the world. And it isn't because we're big, strong and tough. It's because we're well organised and we can take orders. Now, if you look at Africa and the African military, if you look at any of these people, and I take that for the whole of Africa, all the way down to Asia Minor, as they used to call it. They're all running about backwards and forwards, and fucking the minute somebody fires a shot, they're all running about disorganised in groups, and that's why the British had an officer standing there proud in the middle of a field saying, look at the shape of these people. That man, shoot him. And he fired one shot. The Africans are all firing at each other all over the place, don't know what they're doing. We have always been great at organisation. We took and brought the Industrial Revolution out of a shed in the cold and the pissing rain. We need fucking shoes to wear. These people don't realise what they're actually messing with. There's a lot of belief because they stride about pompous and say, oh, we're going to take your country off you. And people go, oh, are you aye? But these people are thinking, oh, are you aye? Do you fucking think so? Is what they're thinking, right?
Let me
card marks.
Let me bring in Lieutenant. I'm sorry, Lieutenant, I kind of left you out in the wind there. So what do you think about anything that was just said in regards to the state of affairs in Britain or this Ben Habib situation with Yasmin?
Well, I hear it all too often from the Conservative side in England that, there is such a thing as a good Muslim. Like what Slim was saying there, he's saying that it's just the extremists, but they became extremists from being peaceful, Slim. As you go further and further into that so-called religion, which is actually a death cult, as you go further and further into it, right, which all of them do, they all become something that they would never have dreamt of, right? And we've seen it throughout history, no matter where they go. I mean, look at the state of Iran right now, okay? It started off as we did, letting them in, right? And then they took over. They start off friendly, they get their feet under the table, and then they get cocky, and then they take over. No matter how friendly and peaceful they are, just because they're around the corner and they're not bothering you and they're running their corner shop, they still turn on you once they get cocky and think they're big in numbers. All right? So there is no such thing as a good one.
The bandwagon.
I'm not finished. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you.
Sorry, Slim. Yeah. Just give it a second.
There is no such thing as a good one because we also have the evidence of the so-called grooming gang situation, the child rape gangs, okay? out of all of those communities, you know, they all go to the same mosques as these perpetrators. They all know each other. They're all family, right? These men didn't come into existence on their own. Okay, and we know how much they interbreed and whatnot. They're all family. They all stick to their own, right? They all know what's going on. And when questioned, not one of them came out with any information to help. Yet it was found in data on their devices that they did know. Now that's the peaceful ones. Now, when you look at the figures, this isn't just a small amount of children that this has happened to. We've heard about a small amount, you know, these certain cases. But this goes way, way beyond the 10 million count when you consider the fact that between 2000 to 2010, approximately 500,000 victims came forward. Now, it's a long established fact, I feel like a broken record, but it's a long established fact that of such abuses, at best, we hear from 15%. So if 500,000 is 15%, that means it's 15% of 3,333,333.333 recurring between 2000 to 2010, right? Since 2010, the matter has only gotten worse. So yes, we're talking way more than 10 million here, aren't we? It's 2025. It's 25 years.
Figures, yeah.
Okay, not one of them has helped the police up and down the country, all across the British Isles. They're getting cockier and cockier. We've got them born and raised here. 75% of the young'uns born and raised here by so-called peaceful Muslim parents want Sharia law, want a case of getting your ears chopped off if you make eye contact with another male who isn't your husband. That sort of crap, okay? These are the peaceful people running shops on the corner that you were talking about, Slim. So what the hell was that?
Well, I don't believe they are all these people. Personally, I don't believe that they're all these people that you're talking about. They can't all be like that. There's a lot of people broke away from it.
What have we seen 1400 years of history? What have we seen, Slim?
Well, what we're seeing at the moment, we're living in a time where there are a lot of people moving away from Islam because they're not happy with it. So it isn't everyone. It's easy to generalize and say, oh, they're all bad. But it isn't everyone. There are a lot of people that are giving it up. They're wearing their hair long. They're wearing shorts and short bikinis or whatever.
Anyone can put a show on. Have you seen all of them that convert to Christianity and what they're doing to Christians in the church? It's called infiltration. Okay. Taqiyya. What's your understanding of what that word means? Taqiyya, right? What does that mean? Lie at all costs.
It's lies. I know that. Yeah. But you're talking about, there's also people that Hatun Tash. Now,
what about
she's moved over to Christianity. She's moved over to Christianity. She's no
she lives in a Muslim. She lives in a Muslim area. She works in mosques.
It could be said that I live in a Muslim area. They've moved in all the way around me.
Oh no, Hatun. By the way, guys, Hatun has moved very much away from anything to do with anywhere near Islam because she's on the death threats. So yeah, I mean, I think if you're talking about Hatun Tash, she can't be anywhere near Muslims. She's too well known.
Yet so I know her myself. I'm not finished. I know her myself. And
you keep telling me you're not finished and you've cut me off repeatedly.
guys, cool. It's just three of us. And we get plenty of time to talk.
Just saying, I know Hatun and I know people who are close with her, and she lives in a Muslim area every time.
Seriously?
Every time she gets moved, yeah. And she works in mosques, supposedly teaching them about Christianity.
There's no way she could do that. She's literally had 2 attempts on her life.
Exactly.
There's no way Hatun would be anywhere near Muslims or anywhere near mosques.
Yeah, it's quite a narrative she pushes, isn't it?
But no, it's not a narrative. I've seen the knife man who tried to stab her in the face. I've been there several times when Muslims have literally smacked her in the face, dragged her to the floor. There's no way. She's drilled holes in the Quran.
So
you
how
can't
does
just fake that.
So how does she end up living in such a community?
Well, exactly. I don't think you. I don't know what your sources
I would
are.
like to say that when the majority of London is now non-British, everybody in London is living in a Muslim area. That's the large part of the problem we're having here at the moment.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get away from Muslim areas, especially in the poorer areas of London. It's mostly Muslim or people of the Pakistani Indian sort of heritage. But I'd be very shocked if Hatun actually lives in London anymore, or in any kind of Muslim
I don't think she'd be living very long.
No, exactly. They would literally be burning the place down.
I said that
They've come to
myself,
her house
but
before.
Someone who is very close to her was telling me that, yeah, she always ends up living in a Muslim area. And it was only just a couple of years ago. It was, you know, around the time that she last got stabbed, which was the day after I became born again. You know, she went into a safe place and all of that. And then she moved back into not such a safe house, but in a Muslim area again.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know where she lives, but I'll be very surprised.
I broke bread with Hatun. I'm not just going off rumors here.
I don't know. I mean, I would be shocked because, as I said, they've attempted to kill her several times. I don't know. I mean, again, I can't speak to directly to that because I haven't spoken to Hatun in a while.
I think we're all guilty of being paranoid about a group and thinking that every single member of
the thing is
a bad guy. And it's
you see, no matter what, you know, we can go down the conspiracy road of her being some kind of weird, you know, controlled opposition, etc., etc. But once you drill holes in the Quran, Muslims are going to have a tough time wanting to keep you alive. That is not going to be a thing. It's not like you can do that and then say, "Well, I was just kidding, guys." That doesn't cut it with the Muslim world. You drilled holes in the Quran. That is, you're screwed from that point onwards, and you did it in a public way. I mean, like millions of people around the world have seen you with the holy Qurans that you had, multiples, not even just one. That is not a thing Muslims will let just slide. I'm telling you, I know the Muslim world. I know, you know, that part. I can assure you, they don't let that kind of shit just slide by, and that's with you for the rest of your life. That's a Salman Rushdie type shit. You saw what happened to Salman Rushdie after 40 years. They still came for him.
Yeah. And every Muslim celebrated. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Hatun, no matter whether she's controlled opposition or any kind of this and that, if she was in any way around Muslims that know that she did that, her life is in immediate danger. There is no way Muslims let you slide that. It's just not. You drilled holes in the Quran. I mean, it's as good as if you burned the Quran. It's as good as if you wiped your ass with the Quran. It's on that level.
Yeah, that's one of their many laws, isn't it? And that's the laws that every Muslim wants to live by, isn't it? That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, whether every Muslim will act upon it or not, I can say some probably won't. But let's put it this way: I've got friends that are atheists, straight up atheists. They're from Iraq. I've got lots of, you know, I mean, a lot of my friends are like from OPEC nations, if you will. I told my Iraqi friend, who is a out and out atheist, despises all religions, there is more than one Quran, and he almost fought me over that.
Yeah.
That no, there's no way that there can only be more than one Quran. There is only one Quran. That's how convinced he was. And I showed him the Hatun evidence. I showed him all the different Qurans, the Warsh, the Hafs, the Duri.
One thing.
Sorry?
There were dozens of them at one time.
Yeah, there's like 31 variants, I think 31 or 33.
Well, one of the caliphs pulled them all together and burnt them and kept a kind of. This is the official one now. He said.
Well, no,
Usman,
the Muslims still to this day have over 30 different Arabic Qurans. The Uthmanic Quran, nobody actually knows where there is an Uthmanic Quran, the original first one, but they know that there is at least 12 different qira'ats within the different Qurans. So this is a convoluted shit. But the fact is, the Varaya. Exactly.
Ravayat. Yeah, narration.
Yeah, so there is multiple Qurans, there's multiple recitations of the Quran, but my friend was so absolutely adamant that there's only one Quran and I said, this man's an atheist. He's an atheist. He doesn't even believe there's a God, but yet he would not budge on the fact that there's only one Quran, because that's the level of indoctrination. That's the level of cultish sort of attitude of behavior that Islam has over its followers. So, you just, as I said, you can't drill holes in a Quran and go into a mosque ever again. Not if it's been publicly announced. It's just, I'm, as I say, I will be amazed that Hatun has walked into a mosque and they've allowed her to just go ahead and preach Christianity in a mosque. The thing is, you're telling me that she goes into a mosque to preach Christianity to Muslims?
Not to preach, to teach the children.
Yeah, that's even
not
worse.
To preach it, just like an RE class.
No, but
right?
that's even worse.
Yeah.
Muslims don't they're not about this RE crap.
Yeah, I know.
They're not.
Because they are all heavily indoctrinated. They are all non-Muslim. All of them. Yes, I know.
I mean, as I said, I'll be perfectly honest. If this is true, that is incredible. That is a level of tolerance that I have never seen from Muslims ever.
I honestly think it's a damage control thing, because our intel have been going through the mosques and the churches and all of this, finding dodgy cults and stuff, and extremists. So I think it's an attempted damage control. They're very, very conniving. We've seen what they've done for 1400 years. Everywhere they go.
Actually, that's a good suggestion. Daft lad says, ask Street Mike. He does have her number. He does, but I don't know if he's been in contact with her recently. But I should. Yeah, I'm gonna ask some of the Christians, because the Christian lads, they kind of keep tabs on her with Jay Smith and others. So I'll some. I'll throw some, but. That she's, that there are rumors that she lives in a Muslim area and she goes to mosques teaching Christianity to the kids. As I said, to me, those.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Can I ask a question? Would any mosque allow a Christian in to teach Christianity?
I wouldn't think so, but then again, you see, the problem is now we have all these woke mosques and woke Islam. I mean, there's an Islamic that I saw. I had it for a while. An Islamic website talking about LGBT and Islam. So if you can get LGBT Islam, you're gonna get. That it wouldn't be such a stretch.
I think what it is it's a recruitment drive. Do you know what I mean? When they do things like this, they get people in and then they go hardcore. Nothing new under the sun. That's Islam. That's what Muslims do.
Possibly.
They pretend that they're pretty relaxed, they're okay, they're friendly, they get you in there, they take over your mind, boom, your life's gone. Every one of them.
Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, or mostly one lady, one gent. I have to unfortunately finish because it's 12 a.m. and I got to get up in the morning for actual work. So, guys, any final thoughts, Lieutenant?
No, just whatever you do, read the Ravayat, find out the actual contents of the book. Don't listen to anyone's narratives. make your own mind up and try and stay away from Islam. Keep your mind to yourself.
Nice. Slim?
I don't have any great final thoughts. I just want to wish everybody well and hope that them and their families are keeping well and in good health.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. And yeah, let's do it again soon. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you.
God
Take
bless.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys and girls, it's me with you to wrap it up. Final thoughts? Yeah, what Lieutenant says, stay away from Islam. Try to keep an open mind. And I am going to investigate this whole Hatun Tash living with Muslims and teaching in mosques thing, because that is wild. If that's in any way true, that'll be a hell of a story. Try to find something from Street Mike. Thank you, everyone in the chat. There's so many of you, but you know who you are. Mr. Mossad, I had a whole bunch of Diana B, Kent, Lieutenant, of course. Thank you, Lieutenant. Thank you, Slim, for coming on the panel. Thank you, Roy, for coming on the panel. Big up to Roy. Although Roy did jump on and jump off very quickly. Thank you, what's it called? Thank you. I forgot. Oh, CCD and Victoria, West Side, Ware's Side, Jack. Sorry, guys, I'm just roaming. Six Kings, Daft. I'm just going through. This is going to take forever. Just, you know who you are. I love you. Thank you for coming. And yeah, hit that like and subscribe button if you're not subscribed, if you're new here. Usually I do stuff from the streets of London or just generally in the streets, Speaker's Corner, etc. But every so often I pull off one of these little home streams. So if you like them, hit the like and get the numbers up on this so that I know that people like these types of videos as well, so I can produce or I can do some more live chats. Either way, have yourselves a wonderful evening. And if I don't talk to you again, have a great weekend. Check me out on the streets on Saturday. Most likely it'll be this Saturday. I'll be out and about. Anyway, guys, peace.
We're HAFEZ, your weatherman. And have we got news for you? Let's get ready, all you lonely girls, and leave those umbrellas at home. Humanity's rising, barometer's getting low. How low, girl? According to all sources. What sources now? The street's the place to go. Better hurry up, 'cause tonight for the first time